What's going on, guys? It's Vicos here, your very own GoHighLevel Ninja. In this video, we're going to talk about the cold calling strategy that you need to land your first 10 clients in 30 days just by offering Facebook ad and GoHighLevel as a service. And I'm going to give you everything you need to transform your cold calling skill from this guy to this guy. So let's dive into it. So how we're going to do that is by doing three things. Number one, I'm going to show you the foundation that you need to understand the framework of cold calling. And I'm going to give you the exact framework that we use to train our appointment setter to set and land us high ticket SaaS client on our calendar within our agency. And lastly, I'm going to show you a live call recording of me implementing all of this step, all of this framework into the real world. So firstly, let's just start with the objective. You need to understand that the goal of cold calling is to build enough trust and rapport so you can ask for a further time and emotional commitment for the next sales process, which is aka the Zoom call or the demo call. So let's just start with the good side of cold calling in general. Cold calling is very personalized, which can lead to very high conversion rate if you know what you're doing. So if you have the right tonality or right frame, it's very hard to say no to you on the phone. So the second part to this guy is that cold calling will force you to learn and develop a high value skill that will lead to appointment setting, closing high ticket, and actually managing your sales team. So it's a very crucial skill set to actually learn when you're just starting out. And the other thing is that cold calling is one of those methods that withstand the test of time. Before the internet, before LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook outreach, people have been doing cold calling since the telephone was invented. And they're still doing it now. So that should give you a sense on how effective the method is. And lastly, cold calling is free. So if you're just starting out and you don't have the budget for ad or outsourcing a VA to do outreach for you, this is the best place to actually land your high ticket appointment. So on the flip side of the coin is that cold calling in reality is not scalable. If you just by yourself, you just can't scale your business by cold calling alone. It's effective, but it's not efficient. So that means you have to put in a lot more effort in contrast to paid ad. And each effort is actually manual and consume time and energy from you. And lastly, they are cold. That's why the word cold calling. So let's dive to the frame that you need to succeed when it comes to cold calling. The number one frame is to have a very strong casual tonality. So you want to expect them to actually know who you are. Pretend that you're just calling a friend or a family. You say, "Hey Jenny, it's Vico." Pause and then say, "It's Vico Kang." And just let them come to a realization that, oh, this is someone that I'm supposed to know. And you would see the difference in their voice and their reply. So the next step is what I don't see people teach a lot, is that you need to ask for permission to talk. So you have a spare 15 or 10 minutes for a quick chat. It's very crucial that you ask for permission to talk, because sometimes people could be in a traffic, they could be changing diaper for their baby. Doesn't matter how great your pitch is, it's not going to work during that time. So if they say it's not a good time right now, just call them back in the next 30 minutes. Next frame is the position and the intention. You want to be positioning your conversation in a way that you're not asking or chasing anything, but offering an opportunity that could be a potential partnership for the both of you. So we're looking for a dentist right now in New York City who can take on 20 to 30 extra whitening jobs, something along that line. And next step is what we call the brief intro elevator pitch. So imagine you probably heard of this before. If you stuck with someone on an elevator for the next 30 seconds, what would you say to them to make them interested in your service? And if you stick until this end of the video, we're going to show you a live recording of how I actually present my elevator pitch or brief intro in the live cold call. So next step is permission to sell. Once you actually give them your brief intro, you want to be asking, is this something that you want to explore further? Is this your cup of tea? Is this something down your alley, right? So by just getting a gauge on that, if they say yes, you actually can turn the conversation around by reverse the script. So you say, great, is it okay if I ask you some basic questions about your business just to make sure that what we do can actually help? So once you actually get to ask them questions, now this is where the magic happens. Prospects will judge you on your professionalism and your expertise by the question you ask them. If you ask them really good question, they would know that this guy is the real deal, and they would really just do anything that you would recommend. And really, things just got a lot easier from there. So really, guys, just make sure that you take the time out to master this section of the call. and more information on that in our free course. Make sure you check that out. Basically, in our agency, we normally ask how many years you've been in the business, what's your business structure like, and what's your team size. And by the answer of that question, you should get a gauge if the prospect is qualified and able to afford your service. Now, the qualification part is quite different to every industry, so make sure that you actually tailor it to your ideal avatar in your industry. So the next question is the probing. Now, this is take a lot of time and skill to master, so make sure that you actually take it slow and practice, right? So what we normally do in our agency is that we'll ask, what do you normally do in terms of generating an appraisal or seller lead in your agency? And they normally give you A, B, and C. The next question you normally ask is that how does A, B, and C working out so far? Now, typically, the typical reply to that is just either it's good or it's bad. If it's good, you want to probe down to what's holding them back from scaling the campaign so they can increase more volume into the front door. If it's bad, it's really easy. Just really probe down to what do you mean by that and get to the root pain and consequences. So really, if you do a very good job until this stage guide, the prospect should be very receptive to what you recommend them next. The next step is just saying, I think we can help you. Would you mind me telling you what we do? And literally just explain 2 to 4 sentences on what you do that reflect the pain point that they just mentioned to you. So if they mention something about volume and lead coming through, you want to focus your 2 to 4 sentences on saying, great, well, what we do is that we'll focus on generating lead and we'll put a guarantee behind it. If they complain about quality, what you want to do is that you want to have your pitch around quality. So what we do is that we have appointment setter picking up the phone, qualify them, and our AI will go through the qualification process even further. So you want to get to the stage where you do enough call and you understand the average industry pain point and the solution behind it. So let's just dive in a call recording where we have all of the framework that we just mentioned in a real world situation. Hey Evan, it's Vico. How you been, man?
Great, thanks. How you going?
Not too bad. It's Vico Kang, by the way. Do I catch you at a good time? You got like 5-7 minutes spare?
Yeah, of course.
Just having a quick look on your Facebook page, man. Just wondering, like, do you do more like a buy agent thing or more like doing like a sales agent, more like chasing appraisal and all that stuff?
Yeah, a selling agent. Yes.
Ah, makes sense now. So we're pretty much looking for an agent in the area right now in Queensland to actually someone who have the capacity to take on more work, like appraisal inquiries. Are you in a position to do that?
Yeah, sure.
I'll give you a nutshell on what we do, man. We pretty much work with agents and agency all across Australia, and we help them put in process and system to generate 20 to 30 appraisal inquiry guarantee every month so that the agent can spend more time closing the deal instead of prospecting. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Feel
Understood.
like that's the relevant conversation for you to take it further?
Yeah, I'm happy to have a conversation around it for sure.
Absolutely. Is that okay if I ask you some questions? Just want to make sure what we do can help you.
Sure.
All right. So just like quickly in here, man, you seem very established on social. Like just quickly here, how long have you been an agent for? Just quickly, guy, when you actually ask them a question, make sure that you have a piece of pen and paper to actually take note on what they say. So not just asking and replying. So make sure that you pay attention to what they say. And is this like your own agency or what's it like? Is this you work for someone else?
No, I work for somebody.
Okay.
What's your company do?
We use social dominantly, / AI. You know, something like ChatGPT, we have our
Yep.
own AI system. So what we do is
Yep.
that we'll normally generate inquiry on social, we'll put them through our AI filter them, qualify them, nurture them, book the appointment.
Right.
Obviously, there's detail to that. Happy to walk you through the detail, but just want to actually understand a little bit more about the business first, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure. Mate, this is probably a longer conversation than I have time for, to be honest.
Maybe like 7 minutes, I'll say. Do you have 7 minutes right now? Like maybe 5?
Yep. I've got an appointment at 1:30, which means I've got to leave here at 1:20, so I've only got like 5 minutes.
Yeah, no, that's enough
But,
time, man. Like
yep.
how it works is that if we think we can help you, we normally invite you to a Zoom call that's more like a 45-minute call, and we normally schedule that. We'll walk you through the detail. But can I ask you some questions first? Is that okay?
Sure, no trouble.
Yeah, I mean, like how long have you been an agent for?
23 years.
Wow, amazing. You commission based, I would assume that. I mean, like being that long.
Yes, correct.
Right, com based.
Yep.
23 year com based. Right, and you're only doing sell. You don't do any other thing like rock team management, all that stuff.
No, just buy and sell. That's it.
All right. What's your structure like? Are you solo? You have a PA, or what's that like?
Yeah, got a PA and another assistant as well.
Wow. So you got 2 PA in total, right?
That's it. Yep.
Right. How are you kind of getting your appraisal right now?
They come from socials and from prospecting, just the normal traditional things, nothing new.
Okay, so you're running your own social campaign right now.
Yeah, yeah.
And when you said prospecting, what do you mean by that?
Just traditional stuff, nothing revolutionary.
What do you feel work better, the social or the traditional, like in your business?
They both seem to work. I'd say the traditional has a better success rate, but both complement each other, I think.
Okay. And may I ask, like, who looking after your social right now?
We are doing it in-house.
How do you feel like that working out so far in terms of results?
We're trying to manage, but could be better for sure.
What could be better in your opinion?
We're very basic, we don't know how to do things in detail, So we're just doing basic boosts from our page and just, pretty normal stuff.
See, so like it's just basic stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you want to see happening? Like when you say you want it to be in detail, like what sort of ideal outcome do you want to see with your social? Like generating actual appraisal, generating actual tangible income? Is that the ideal outcome or more like branding, like brand awareness?
Branding to the people in my community is really all I'm interested in because buyers are not a problem. It's finding or connecting with sellers.
Would you mind, like, do you track your stuff? Like, what would you say, like, just really ballpark figure here? How many leads or appraisal do you get from your social each month or each week? Just ballpark here.
Well, my social is just basically based around properties that I'm selling. So if I've got a really nice property, we'll spend maybe $400-500 on socials. Typically reach maybe 100 to 200,000 people within our community within that time, and that will generate maybe half a dozen to a dozen interested sellers contact me, and then we sort of track it from there. But I don't really have any further detail than that, to be honest.
Is that a monthly basis? The number you just gave me, is that a monthly basis or a weekly basis?
It can be a per campaign, so it depends on the quality of the property. Some of the nicer stuff that we're selling, I know it'll reach 60, 80,000 people. We might have, 10, 11,000.
So this is my free gift to you. This is going to be our exact script that we actually use to actually enroll our client right now. And it's actually more refined than the one that you see in the call because we've been refining it since then. Right? And this document, I'm going to make sure to leave it in the comment below underneath this video. And it's going to be outlined anything from objection handling, pitch offer, the process, the scripts, the framework, and even what to do before the sales call. Right? Reminder here, if you are an agency owner, we're offering a free script audit for you to see how we can help change or actually work together in terms of refine your sales process. And if you're an remote sales advisor who looking to partner up or work with a top performing agency who actually get results for real estate agent in Australia, there's a link to also apply to actually work with.
Engagements or reactions, like likes and shares and all that carry on.
Makes sense. So you pretty much do campaign based on the property. So like based on the property listed. I see, that makes sense. I see what's happening now. So would you mind if I tell you what we do just real quick because I know you gotta go?
Yeah, of course, no problem.
So what we do, man, is that we'll normally help agents like yourself. What we do, we help them launch a seller-based campaign. So what they do is only attract seller. So what you do is that when you launch a listed property, so you attract mix of buyer and seller. So what we do, we launch a pure seller intent campaign for you under your brand so that your PA and your team get all of the asset, right? So we don't control that. You get all the asset, and what we do is that we'll see that in Queensland we generate anywhere between 20 to 30 seller intent each month, guaranteed, right? And what we do, we'll further lead them. We sort of install a semi AI based tech inside the company, right? So when those intent seller come, they get nurture, qualify, do all this magic thing with those things before it get to you. Does that make sense?
Yep.
That's what we do in a nutshell. And what we find every time we speak with agents like yourself, they normally just do either a boost profile that do awareness, or they just doing what you do right now, which is a listed campaign, which get a bunch of mixed buyer and seller. And what we see is also like our intended seller campaign also work well on the brand awareness side as well. Quickly here, man, if this is something that you want to explore further, happy to show you what a demo look like, what we show you, what we call a demo call. Can you do 12?
Yeah, I can do 12. Yep.
All right, cool. I'll book you in for that. And I'll send you a reminder just the day before. And we'll send you like all of our case study, our result and all that stuff. Make sure that you have a look at that before you jump to the call. So we'll just maximize our time together. Is that okay?
That sounds good.
All right. Thanks, mate. Have a good one.
Okay, see you soon. Bye.
That's the end of the recording. You can see, guys, that me and one of our private coaching students, we literally just scroll around Facebook and see what name or what phone number we can call. Like literally write agent in Melbourne that time. And we just pick any phone number. I think the stat on that day was I make 6 phone calls. 2 picked up. 1 rejected me, and this was the second one. So literally a 50% booking rate, if you would call it like that. One of the things that my student mentioned in that call is that he was willingly to answer a lot of my questions. If you do the tally, that was like around 12, 13, or even 14 questions that I asked. Like, keep asking him question. Like, this is like personal business question. People would be reluctant to answer or give that information to a stranger. Imagine if you walk to a stranger and you bump hand in the street and they start asking you, well, how many leads you getting from Facebook? How much do you spend on Facebook? Like, that are very personal information. But the reason why he actually agreed to answer this question to me, which is a stranger in the beginning, is that I have the right tonality and the right frame, and I position myself as an expert, and this is as an opportunity to grow his business, not buying anything, not selling anything, not paying anything yet, but to get to know each other. And on the get-go, I am the expert. And this skill set does take time and practice to master, so make sure that you actually attend the free course, come to the weekly call, and actually practice it all together with me. So this is it, guys. This is Vicos here from Vicli's Online Consultant. If you like this video, make sure that you like, subscribe, and share, and leave in the comment below if you learn anything from that. Hey guys, if you enjoy watching the video, make sure that you also checking out this content right there.